So I'm back home now, and I want to talk about natural beauty and plastic surgery. So when I was abroad, I made a video and I talked about how I realized that I have aged. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way. I really appreciate my face changing. It looks a lot more angular. I used to have a lot more baby fat and it made me very youthful looking. So I was saying that on my 30th birthday, I was skiing and then I was waiting for a bus and the woman was like, "Oh, you're going back to university." I'm like, "Okay, thanks." But that is weird. However, because of the spa, like a regular massage spa, facial treatment, and like a hair care spa that I was doing, the lady was drying my hair and I was looking a lot at the camera, at the mirror, and I noticed that my face looks different. I'm going to zoom in. Can I zoom in? And the camera here is also it's very good, so you could really see my skin. Oh, I can really see my skin. And okay, I think with the light, with the natural light from the window, it looks like my skin is okay. My skin is okay. It's just like my face looks different. It looks it looks different. It looks like I have matured. Not in a bad way. Again, I'm just growing into my features. And I I appreciate that very, very much. I have zero interest in plastic surgery. I shared the story before, but one time I went to a dermatologist because you can see that my nose here is a bit red. And it started off as a a pimple that like many years ago, almost 10 years now, I think. And then it just won't go away. I don't know why. So I took it like, well, it's my fault. I went to, kind of pop it. And then I think as it healed, the skin healed, but it also had a cluster of veins clustered around here. So I just have a very red spot. I didn't know about this. I thought it was like a scar from pimple. So I went to the dermatologist and asked, "Is this of concern? Like, is this okay? Is this something wrong with my skin?" She's like, "No, it's fine. It's just weird that the veins started to clump around. That's why it's a lot more red. There's nothing you can do about it. You can try to like laser and burn it off, but you will have the scar anyway, so just might as well keep it this way." I'm like, "Thank you. As long as I know that there's no health issues to my body, I don't care." I like that very much. And every time Christmas, I'm the perfect Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then she's like, okay, she realizes she can't sell me anything because I don't really need anything for my face. And she's like, "Oh, why don't you do a rhinoplasty? Why don't you do, I don't know, you do something with your face?" I'm like, "Thanks, lady, but I'm very happy with my face." And I just left I left the place. For a split second when she said, "Why don't you I can insert filler so that your nose bridge can be like higher." For a split second, I thought about it. I'm like, that would be a lot easier because for my sunglasses, I can't wear the European sunglasses because it just doesn't stay. I need to have additional like support. Otherwise, the sunglasses doesn't stay. But it's fine because I found a Chinese brand, fantastic. It fits my face perfect. I mean, it's Chinese brand. It's made for Chinese people. It's made for Asian people, Asian noses, and that's the perfect sunglasses. I already had the second pair from them, and I think I'm going to get one more because I just wear my sunglasses a lot in the sun. And so the sun kind of I like it very, very light color, so it kind of yellows the plastic around, which means I should probably get a new one soon. Anyway, so for a split second I thought about it, and then I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'm just going home. I'm not doing this. It's not for me. But I am someone who is very secure. I'm very, very grateful for the things I have. Like I don't have your double eyelid, but they're like my eyes. I like my face. I don't have the long eyelashes, but you know what? I really appreciate the features that I have. And I think my mom looks a lot prettier when she was my age than me right now. And I'm really appreciative of the features that I have. People look at me and they're like, "Yeah, you're the blend of your dad and mom, and sometimes you look more like your dad in some features, sometimes you look like your mom in some of these features." And I appreciate that. I am the amalgamation of all the ancestors that existed. Why on earth would I go change that? Because it's not like I will change the DNA so that my future kids will have a nose bridge which makes it easier to wear sunnies. whatever they get is whatever I have. Plastic surgery doesn't change a damn thing of my DNA and my genes. So I'm an amalgamation of all the people that existed before me that caused me to be here today on Earth. I'm not going to remove the features that they gave me. That's that's a little egoistical and oh my gosh, so selfish and so vain. Okay, so why am I talking about this now? Because I realize I'm talking a lot about plastic surgery because I just came back from Vietnam for a conference stay. And in Vietnam, Vietnam is a very interesting country. Economically, I was very interested in that 10 years ago. And even before that, I was going back to Vietnam once a year just to understand the development. I think I see a lot of future in Vietnam. I just didn't know how to participate. I moved to Vietnam for a bit, worked for a startup, and just wanted to participate a little bit more in the economy. I find it very difficult to be in the economy because uh, long story short, I am to a local. They see me as a local. They speak to me in Vietnamese, but I'm not Vietnamese, so they give me expat prices, but they give the service like a local, which means you get the worst of both worlds. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I don't get service. I'm a person that's very driven by good service. So I don't like that. I don't get service, and because of that, I don't like living in Vietnam. And but that aside, Vietnam as an economy is growing like crazy, growing middle class. There is a middle class. There are more and more middle class coming into the market, and they just have the wealth to be spending. And they're spending a lot. They spend on a lot of different things, the Chanel shop in central Ho Chi Minh City, where I think the Ho Chi Minh statue is, there is a Chanel, and it's a small Chanel, and that Chanel is the highest revenue per square foot in the entire world. So Vietnamese people spending a lot, growing middle class. What I'm noticing that I had not noticed 10 years ago when I was living there is the amount of plastic surgery in these women. And I do have a very irrational fear of strong plastic surgery. You know, where your face is tight like that, and your eyes are like that, and then your lips are like that, and then your nose is so high and so, you know, angular. It scares me very much. It just really scares me. I find this person to be, I think it scares me because I find a person to be insecure. I find a person to yeah, have issues with their self-esteem and things like that. And it genuinely, it scares me very, very much. Like, if you do proper skincare, it's different if it's a medical issue. For example, you don't have a chin, and then you need a chin implant, jaw implant, I don't know, so that your face now is protruding out. I get that. I imagine there is going to be some health concerns about that. So you have those kind of surgery. I don't know. I'm not a plastic surgeon. But people who just do it purely for aesthetics reason, because they're insecure, and instead of working on their insecurities, they decide to just pay someone to have like a plaster or band-aid on their wound of on their insecurity by doing plastic surgery. I find it to be a really cheap thing to do. And it just makes me really uncomfortable. So anyway, long story short, I saw many, 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 many women like that. And they really scare me a lot. I remember I was waiting to board the plane, and well, the lounge is a little bit far, so I left the lounge earlier, walked to the waiting area, waited for a little bit, and the woman sitting across me, like diagonally across me, Vietnamese lady, she had the tightest face with the eyes pulled back, eyes widened and pulled back like this. Oh my God, I can't even do that. Like this. And then big lips, just really, really plastic looking. And I get it. I get it if, in a lot of emerging nations, as I've been to emerging nations and spoken to people around in a lot of emerging nations, a way to signal wealth, an absolute way to signal wealth, is obvious plastic surgery. You see that in a lot of Eastern European countries. And I know that again because I worked with Eastern Europeans, and I've been to a lot of Eastern European countries, and I'm just speaking to people, it's a social signal to have very obvious plastic surgery because it shows that you have wealth, and it's a way to attract better mate. And you know what? It's a different culture, and it's a different life. Is all about signaling. Culture evolves as a form. Culture signaling is a form of culture evolution as well. As being fat, being skinny, they're all signals that money cannot you is signals to show different forms of social economic class or money in whatever culture and time frame this culture exists in. So like dark skin, light skin, fat, skinny, they are all social signals. And so plastic surgery is now a form of social signal. And it scares me very much. I am clearly I'm not supportive of plastic surgery at all. And if you make it very pleasant looking, you can't really see, good for you, and you know, good for you. I am not a strong believer in that. I'm I'm completely fine if it is a medical reason. In fact, I'm a very big supporter for medical purposes and that after you are above a certain age as well. But this kind of plastic surgery to being a plaster to your insecurity, a band-aid to your insecurity, I find that really, really uncomfortable. And it's it's scary how accessible it is. It's scary how someone can just, oh, instead of eating lunch, I'm just going to go downstairs to the Botox clinic and add in some Botox or fillers or something in my face and just do some injections. It's so normal now. It's as normal as getting a cup of coffee. It truly worries me. And just looking ahead into the future, right? Two things. The first one is these people becoming parents, and second is advancements in technology through AI and robotics. On the on the children's side of things, these people grew up with insecurities, and clearly they are going to pass their old phases to the new kids. And if they started doing plastic surgery since young, or they're on TikTok, they're on social media, and they're seeing the normalization of plastic surgery, a young child, can go and request for plastic surgery, or the parent might even tell them to do plastic surgery when they're young. And if you're from young, you're ingrained with number one, beauty matters more than brains and talent and perseverance and soft skills. What kind of values are you teaching to your kid? The second is if you feel insecure, you just need to pay someone and sell that security risk away until you feel insecure again, and then you pay even more. What kind of values are you teaching to your kids? And you never really go through the hardship of overcoming certain insecurities. So I find that really, really weird. I don't know about the statistics of this, but I imagine someone someone having a higher weightage on getting quick fixes through paying, like plastic surgery, as opposed to leading a healthy, good lifestyle, going to do sports. Like I do 5 to 7 hours of sports a week, eating clean, having having a very balanced, active lifestyle. All these different aspects that develops one as a person. And it's not just your physical appearance. Going to the gym, lifting weights helps you to be more toned in your body, on your skin, increases muscle mass. Then you have, like, I do tennis, I do dance, I do yoga, all of these things. It helps with a lot of aspects of your body. But beyond the physical aspect, all of these things really help with the mental perseverance and mental strength of an individual. Sometimes I just feel like I can't do one more set. And in my head, I would tell myself, yes you can, let's just do it one more time, just one more time. Last one, and then that's it. Even if we don't do a full one, let's just go for it. And this kind of healthy self-talk, I think it's going to be a very good solution to growing insecurities of young kids. If you never go through that, if you never allow yourself to unleash that stronger you to be your biggest cheerleader inside and have those cheerleading self-talks, it's going to be really, really hard to survive if you are just drowned with insecurities that's going on in your head. I can't imagine someone living a life like that if everything in your head is just how stupid you look, how ugly you look. Like, how on earth are you going to survive this way? That's I feel sad for this person. If your only value is beauty and your body and your face matters more than anything, it makes me very sad. And I think we could see a lot of that with, um celebrity celebrities growing up with a camera in their face. shoved in their face, filming their entire life, filming them growing up through puberty and whatever, and their only value is how they look, the shape of their bodies. You can see as they grow up, as they mature, where they place their value, what their value system is like. And yeah, that makes me pity them quite a lot. Okay, the second thing is moving ahead. What does that look like? How are things going to change moving forward, right? Now we're seeing a lot more. So now we have everything about physical beauty. So and your skincare products, your skincare devices, red light therapy, blue light therapy. I don't know how many lights there are, and there are just a lot more of this coming to the market, and it's getting more and more accessible. I think in the past, I want to say, lasering your hair away used to be something that's you have to go to the clinic to do, but you could just buy that laser thing and just do it at home by yourself. So things are getting a lot more accessible, and with the trend of plastic surgery normalization, I think we're gonna see people maxing out, really optimizing on how they look if the world prioritizes how people look. There's also a weird thing where we no longer, you know, every time I go to the gym or changing room or whatever, just as you have in the boys' room, you have it in the girls' room as well, like the men and women changing room and showers and everything. It's normal to strip completely naked, just walk around. Or you go to the sauna, you go to the hot bath. When you go all around the world, it's usually completely nude. And I think this is a very important activity because we get to see what normalized bodies look like. And I also especially love seeing people who have different body sizes, who have, let's say, a breast cancer, and you have to remove one breast and you didn't do a breast reconstruction. So you just walk around very confident in your body with just one breast. I think that, to me, that is feminine power. That is embracing body diversity, because I am still a woman. I'm still a mother. I'm still a grandmother, even if I only have one breast because I lost the other through breast cancer. And I find that really empowering because we are women. We are role models of the next generation, not because of how we look, but because of our values, what we stand for. Yes, there could be some things about how we look. For example, we teach people to style better, we teach people etiquette, we teach people to have good skincare. We teach people these skill sets, but not to change who you are, to become a person you are not. I'm not talking about continuously improving yourself, but to erase the ethnic features of yourself, to pay someone and get your insecurities removed because you don't know how to deal with the kind of nose you have or the kind of lips you have. And I know it's difficult for me. It's difficult to hear me saying this because I'm very secure in myself. And I think I really love the features that I have very, very much. I don't even wear makeup. I do wear makeup once in a while, but I went to a conference, for example, did not wear makeup. I just have sunblock and lipstick. Sometimes I don't even use the lipsticks. So I don't really care. I really love the skin I am in. I really love the person I am. I'm really enjoying the person I'm becoming, continuously improving and becoming. And so it's so puzzling to see people shilling out tons of hundreds and thousands and $10,000 just erasing themselves. And I'm really worried moving forward as well that, yeah, with robotics, we really normalize robotics and AI and everything. We really normalize plastic surgery. It's so easy to remove any kind of features you don't appreciate, that you feel insecure about. And we're slowly losing a lot of, we're slowly losing us as humanity, natural beauty probably going to be gone. And I know there's also a huge discourse around social economic status and social economic backgrounds with their relationship to plastic surgery. I would say that in my very, very limited social circle, the higher social economic status upper class people, they don't have surgery, or it's very, very, very minimal. Like, you can barely see it. Whereas people from the middle class, like Vietnam, for example, lots of plastic surgery. I go to, like, in China, right? Just everywhere in the world. China, for example, the upper class, you rarely see plastic surgery. The middle class, you see plenty of plastic surgery. And then the lower class, well, there's no plastic surgery because they're not, it's quite expensive. So I find that quite, yeah, quite fascinating. And I really, really hope that people continuously embrace who they are, work on their insecurities, and just f- allowing themselves to be the best version they can be naturally through hard work. And that's the thing, it is hard work. It's bloody hard work. I mean, there's a lot of part that's natural. Puberty is like pu- puberty is where you just explode into the new version of yourself. Not much hard work over there. I guess a lot of emotional things you have to work through. But other than that, it's a lot of hard work. You're fat, go do a workout, right? Go and do some sports. Sign up for some sports. Do it every week. If you have certain kind of insecurities, self-esteem issues, go figure out why. Go figure out the triggers and causes. Go deal with it. Go to, I don't know, a doctor, a therapist. Go speak to your friends. Go journal. Look inside. And yeah, it's not gonna be gone in one day, but it takes a lot of hard work. For example, when, like, I still have a lot of insecurities, of course. Last week before my period came, I was super bloated. Like, I really look like I'm pregnant. I think I look like I'm pregnant. I'm super bloated. And it feels very disgusting and awful. And but I also know this is how the natural cycle works. I'm going to have my period in a day or two. It's natural that I get a bit more bloated. I got a lot more bloated than usual. So probably be wary about the food that I eat. Maybe it's a little bit too much salt and it's retaining water. And that isn't fine. And my period's over now and I'm normal again and I'm me again. And it's okay. I still appreciate the every version of me because me being bloated means that I do have a healthy reproduction system. It means that my body is working right. My uterus and ovaries and blah blah blah, they're all fine. Having these different changes, like my skin, having having like, I can't really see it now, but I find that I have a little bit of wrinkly stuff and my skin is not like baby fat like before. And it just means that I have aged. I have gone through the passage of life. I have traveled. I have laughed. I have made friends. I have impacted lives. All of these signs of life just showing on me. And I appreciate that very much. I mean, I don't want to go into the coffin looking so pristine, fucking plastic, just like that in my coffin. I'll probably just go get burnt and into ashes. But I want to look battle scarred. I want to look wounded. I want to have lines on my face. I want to live a life and I want to show that on me. Like I did ballet yesterday and yesterday we learned a bunch of new things in ballet and there's a lot of new moves. So my knees, I can't see, but my knees are very injured. Like they're bruised because I forgot to wear my ballet tights. And yes, they're quite bruised and that's okay. That is okay. I will still wear like my Bermuda shorts or dresses just above the knees. And I'm not ashamed of that because I work bloody hard to be able to do those moves. My legs are strong, my calves are strong. I may have that, my legs are not so slender as before, but they look very strong. I had a lot of compliments of people telling me they look very strong. But from guys, from girls, they like long, slender legs. But for guys, they're like, oof, I see that strength in your body. I also used to have extreme calluses through weightlifting. I've been very diligent in wearing gloves now. So it's not as bad as before. And yeah, we are who we are because of all the experiences, life choices that we make. And we constantly become a better version of us. That's what I want to believe, and that's how I want to live my life. And that's how I would hope other people are living their lives too, becoming a better version of yourself. And to just shortchange yourself by paying someone to do plastic surgery, it's not doing yourself a favor. And of course, this coming from a someone who's not a plastic surgeon, I imagine if my income depends on people being bloody insecure, I will lean into that. And now we have a lot more plastic surgeons just making content and talking about it, normalizing plastic surgery because it's your job. That is how they make money. The more insecure you are, the more money they can make. And not a big fan of that. So love yourself, embrace who you are, because there's only one you in the world. No one else can be you. So might as well. Why go change yourself to be someone else when you can be the best version of you? Bye.